I am Daniel Likis, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today, I have my featured author of the month of September. He is award winning and best selling author, too, no other than Mr. Joe Clifford.
Hey, how are you doing, Daniel?
Good, and excellent, Mr. Joe. As usual, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Joe Clifford. I'm an author, musician. I've been doing this since grad school back in the aughts. Got about 20 books out. You can find them all at joeclifford.com. And I'm happy to be back here with Daniel on Book 101.
Yes. Mr. Joe is my avid guest on Book One. I think it's my residence guest on Book 101 review. So today we're gonna talk about Say My Name, Say My Name.
Yes,
Okay. Popularized by who?
probably popularized more by me, honestly. But
So, Mr. Joe, can you give our listeners a brief overview of your book, Say My Name?
yeah, Say My Name was the start of a new series or a direction I'm going in. It's probably the least commercially viable path I could have chosen. I've been writing these crime thrillers now for over a decade, and I wanted to do something a little different. I'm more interested in the symbiotic relationship between art and life, and the way one can manifest on the other, and not necessarily in the order you think it would go. Um, so, Say My Name's the premise is simple. It's a mid list 50-something-year-old writer going back to his hometown in Connecticut. I am also a mid-list 50-year-old divorced writer going back to his hometown in Connecticut, although not until my kids go to college. So this all set in motion a series of events, personally, professionally. But I've found it impossible to extrapolate the real from the fake. The longer I go at this, being the writer, I make up the worlds and I decide what happens and the consequences for actions. And strangely enough, so much of that it seeps over into your real life. It's hard to tell which started first, the chicken or the egg. In this book, the writer, unnamed writer, we call him Buddy. He goes back and he finds a case. That reminds him of why he got into writing crime. Crime involves the disappearance of two girls, twins from his hometown. 40 years ago. And as he begins investigating that, think he's going to write a true crime book on it, some other things start to happen that make him wonder if everything isn't what it wasn't or what it seems. So I got Luna, see over here on my feet, little kitty. So yeah, that's the idea of it. And I thought of it sort of like Chandler by way of the Twilight Zone. I guess is the simplest way to put it. Although I'm not sure, right? Like Chandler, I probably I've heard a lot of things, not Chandler. Um, Actually, JTLS said I write like Chandler. So I don't know. Maybe I do write like Chandler. Nobody writes like Chandler. He's the best. Chandler was the best. Nobody's gonna write like the guy again. But that's what you try to do.
Yes, the best. And thank you for sharing your Say My Name, Say My Name, Mr. Joe. So, what was the writing process like this book, Say My Name?
Well, I was, again, sort of foretelling where I was going in my life. I think we know things that are happening before they happen. Not that we're, it's sixth sense, some kind of weird. Sixth sense, not some kind of weird magic. I mean, just I think we have, that ability to tell. I also think there's something weird about this world. I'll go on record saying I don't quite think what you see is what you get. I'm not going as far as to say we're living in a computer simulation or something weird like that. But there's enough strange things that have happened to me in my life that make me not ready to discount the possibility of God. I'm not ready to discount the possibility of a completely random series of events. But I have to believe there's some kind of design behind it. Far down the line, whether it's organic or celestial, and obviously there's more evidence for the organic. Yeah, I forget the question now, Daniel. I need more coffee.
Yes, we need coffee in the morning. So how did you come up with your title of Say My Name,
My
Say My
brother was a
Name?
huge fan of Breaking Bad, and there's an episode in which Walt White, the meth, the teacher turned meth kingpin, utters the phrase. But it's certainly common enough. Say my name, and if you read the book, you'll see why it's germane to this one. It also kicks off the series. Like I said, and the next one, I won't say a word, came out last week, and the Mandela Effect come out next year. And all these books examine the close relationship the creator has with the creation, and how after a while you can't separate fact from fiction.
So did you draw any personal experiences when crafting Say My Name?
Say my name, and I won't say a word, and Mandela Effect. They're all written first person, and they're written with my voice, my voice that I use in Junkie Love, the voice I use in any true, nonfiction. I found that allowed me to get past some of the stiffness of trudging along in an early draft where you can't quite find your footing with your own voice. It's you writing, it's you talking, and it's easier to get moving. It's also, I think, there's an immediacy with the reader that you don't get maybe with like third person, even third person close. So yeah, the process was to just begin writing a story about me, and it was very easy to do that with imagining where my life was going, because divorced twice and divorced three times. Going back home to teach because the books haven't been selling. The books haven't been selling. I had an opportunity to go back to Central Connecticut State University. I didn't have an opportunity. I was hoping for an opportunity to go back and teach there. So I just imagine this whole scenario where I do get that chance, and then let my wacky imagination take it from there.
So what do you hope readers will take away from Say My Name?
Oh, about 304 pages and leave behind about $20. It's a it's a fun book. I mean, I think it's fun. It's I'm not for everybody, and this book will probably separate that customer base better than any other one. This book's probably gotten the most divisive ratings, on the sites like what the hell are the sites, Goodreads and Amazon and stuff. But the people who like it seem to really like it. So I'm doing exactly what you're probably not supposed to do with establishing a brand or making a name for yourself. So I'm sort of whittling away the superfluous and the outer edges, and just sticking to the hardcore readers. So if you like me, you'll really like this. If you don't like me, you really won't like this.
Yes. So can you share a memorable moment from your writing Say My Name?
Yes, when I went back to Connecticut, and I'm going back there next week to promote. I won't say a word. I'll be reading at my old middle school, and we'll do some stuff with the kids. At Berlin High, and yeah, um, how do I answer that? Rephrase that for me, Daniel.
So
I'm looking at the calendar.
yes. So how can important the research of creating Say My Name?
Research. I the nice thing about writing fiction is you get to go into your imagination, and probably more so than any other book. These latest books allowed me to stretch and create some weird stuff. There's some mental illnesses and hallmarks of anxiety that I've dealt with, so they certainly make their way in. It's behind, it's like looking behind the scenes of the Porter books. The author of this book is the author of the Porter books. Porter isn't spelled out explicitly, but you can tell that's what it is. So I take it from there.
Yes. So what message or lesson, if any, would like your book to impart to the readers?
Message lesson that they kind of remind me of like high school themes, and like I just want someone to be entertained. If somebody wants to do a deep dive, there's a lot of stuff in there. It's layered, and there's a lot of pop cultural references. And there's a lot of it relies heavily on cinema and film, and you know Tarantino, the Scorsese, and that sort of you know bunch. Um, so what you get out of it is kind of what you want to get out of it. If you just want a quick beach read, you can get that. And if you want to see why you know I am the way I am, the books are the way they are. It's an evolution in the creative process, I guess.
Is there a specific scene or chapter in the book that holds your special meaning to you?
Yeah, there is. I don't remember the question. You asked me a question. I had a great answer. I forgot what it was. Uh, That's the problem with doing these early interviews. I'm not a morning person. I wake up and I gotta get the kids out the door, and it takes me a few minutes to settle in. I'm a creature of habit. I think I guess I'm severe OCD, and my wife says I'm autistic. My wife seems to be acting as autistic. I don't know. It'd be cool to have an excuse for this sort of thing. Yeah, I'm easily distracted, Daniel. I mean, I
No
talk about these.
worries.
I talk about these books. Like I've been doing this now, most of my life. Being
Yes.
an artist, but certainly the books have taken off in the last whatever, and I now am just this is what I do. I'm a writer. You know, this morning, why don't you get a job? She's like, why don't you get a job? I don't. She sounds like, why don't you
This
get
is
a
my
job?
job.
I do have a job. I'm a fucking writer. I write and I tweet and I edit and I this is what I do. The problem is that we have, with the arts and a society, capitalist, which is great. And I'm not knocking capitalism. It's the best system. It's the worst system besides all the others. But if you don't have an intrinsic, you have to be providing a service to people, right? That's what everybody has to do. And this is nothing new, but this is what we're here for. Provide a service because everybody needs something. Provide a service to people that need something. So my service was to tell what it was like being marginalized and sort of outside conventional society because you're just not really cut out that way, not wired that way. Uh, and it works, for what that is. And I think it resonates with people who appreciate that. And like I said, I think it irritates people who just say, get a job, I don't look at the size of the paycheck it's not how I live my life. I mean, I get what I want. I've always got what I wanted, and I bang my head until I get it. And it's scary now because I've been banging my head for a while and I'm not getting what I want, and I'm running out of time and money and ideas. But I'm just doubling down because I just turned 54, man. I'm not gonna go learn a vacation. I can't sit in an Amazon truck. I have my back shot. My body's breaking down. Like, I'll teach, but I don't do the whole. I'm not very professional. Is the problem. I have a hard time being professional because I think it's just fucking stupid. It's just goofy. This idea of going around acting like grown-ups wearing suits and ties and talking about stuff. I don't know. It's like a kids in the hall skit. It's goofy to me. I just don't believe that's what life's about. And when you set yourself up in opposition to what the rest of the world holds dear, you're screwing yourself. And I've screwed myself because I can't really go back to 20 years old and just keep my job and keep my mouth shut and marry that first girl and let her screw around on me like she did, and just be happy for the opportunity. I'm never happy for the opportunity. My cousin asked me the other day, "What are you grateful for?" And I'm like, "Today, nothing. I'm like, grateful for it. And not that I'm not. I know gratitude's important. Like if I can calm down, get out of my head, sit down, I can make a list of a number of things. My children are wonderful. I got so many blessings. I've been given so much in this life. I can't. But when you're in the moment and despair works that way, it's very hard for me at least to see beyond that and say, okay, well, it's great. I got 10 fingers. I could have 9 fingers because then there's a guy with 9 fingers. And he's going, I got 9. I could have 8. And of course, it could suck worse. It can always suck worse. Life can always get worse. In the words of my first wife's father, you can be a burn victim. Poor thing. My first wife has schizophrenia, brain damage, drugs, but she had schizophrenia, and she was very sad. She was sad all the time. And her dad used to try to cheer her up. He'd come into a room one day, show her, various people who had it worse than her. One day he brought a picture of a burn victim. He's like, Steve, you could be a burn victim. So that was our running joke for a long time. Yeah, you can always be a burn victim. I mean, how bad your life sucks to be a burn victim too. Fucking, and the burn victim out there, at least I, have both feet. Because there's somewhere out there, a guy who's a burn victim without feet. My point is, life can suck a tremendous amount, and it keeps sucking worse and worse and worse. And this idea of gratitude, you're supposed to walk around with these peanuts, and this paltry stuff you've been handed out, and be appreciative. Well, 8 fucking people own half the money in the goddamn world. I don't know if it's envy or just going like, wait a second. 8 people can't own half the money in the world and have everybody going like, that's just the way it is. What can we do about it? I don't know why we're not storming the streets. Why we're not, I don't get it. I don't. But at this time, I've done this for so long, and I've been in opposition again to the mores and phobos of polite society. I'm not sure it matters what I think. I remember asking a doctor this in the hospital, mental hospital, because and I said, am I mentally ill? The doctor said, Joe, it really doesn't matter. What you think is so out of sync with everybody else, and so opposed to what everybody else believes. Your ideas, your beliefs, your morals are so opposed. You might as well be mentally ill. And I think about that a lot because yeah, I don't really want to come back around to join. I just don't. I don't want to do it. It's too late for me to do that. I'm gonna go out the way I've lived my whole life, which is, to my own whatever, wacky drummer and win, lose, or draw, looking pretty much like I lost. At least I'll do it on my terms, which is, I believe, what my brother wrote to me when he fucking died. I don't know why I just quoted that, but yeah. So there's that for a cheery pick me up on a Monday morning. And the point, I don't see myself as depressing. That's the weird thing. Like, people are like, man, dude, you're so fucking depressing. I don't feel my depressing. I feel like I'm just answering a question. This is what the world is, and people walk around with their head up their ass, smiling, going like, "Oh my God, every day's a gift." That's why I tell the president, "Look how wonderful this is, and I just was able to afford a can of soup." I don't see the fucking benefit of like, this isn't enough. This life is not enough. I want more than this life can give me. I always have, and I know there are other people out there who feel the same way. They want more than this life can give me, and maybe they're ex-drug addicts, or they're ex-cons, or they're just divorced dads, or they're single, lonely people, or they're just the ugly girl in the art class. I don't fucking know, but like, I can't believe that everybody's out there being, tickled pink with the way this world works. And if you are tickled pink with the way it works, go read fucking Jane Austen, man. Go read Jane
Yes.
Austen. If you're happy with your life, you're happy with this goofy shit, and you're happy with the way everything shakes out, right? And you can just hang around and go like, oh, it's cool, because look, I got this little tiny little plot of land, I got this little tiny house, right? Up here in rent on the bank, and it's great. Good for you. Don't read my books. But if you're going, fuck, man, there's something more out there. It's eating away at me. I gotta find out what it is. Then give me a chance.
Very well said. Very well said. Mr. Joe. As they said, you can buy books but not wisdom. What a wisdom, Mr. Joe.
Wisdom, eventually, this child will get a temper tantrum for not getting the way he wants. But if that's the case, it's where I'm going out.
Yes. So, what kind of readers do you believe connect to Simon Name?
I seem to do very well with middle-aged Jewish women. I don't know why. They just seem to like my work.
Mm.
I don't know why. That's be my demographic. I also get the odd outlier, the ex-cons. I think they share my book in prison. I'll get a lot of those readers. The ne'er-do-well, those who are unsatisfied, angry, lonely, weirdos. Books. Man, there's a lot of books out there, and I wish I had a bigger readership, and I wish I was on the cover of, one of those magazines or something, or even a hot pick in, People's Magazine. But I don't know. I mean, only thing I can control is the art. The only thing I have control over is how good a book I put out there, and I write a better book each time I write a new book. Each book improves upon the last. Whether somebody's going to feel that way, and I don't have a say in that. You have to pay attention to audience. You have to pay attention to what's going on in the world, the current climate. You have to be able to read a room because you're trying to connect with people. That's the thing. You can't just close your eyes and throw it, dart at the dartboard. You have to at least point in the right direction, right? So you have to know what's going on. And like my first book I wrote was a very out of time place. With a very Chandler-esque sort of background, and people didn't read it because it just wasn't right. It's like to change stuff, like find a way to speak to the reader. And what I settled on, or what resonated, or what worked for me, what got me, what I've gotten, and fairly close to more, is that it's that limiting that divide between self and the I.
Yes. And the I. So, how has your perspective as an author evolved since publication of Same Name?
Has my perspective changed?
Yes.
I'm kind of a silly bastard, to be honest. I'm not very happy. I don't think being happy is a very chronic expectation. It doesn't work that way. I'm not sure anything's changed other than I just dig down deeper and just plant my feet and wait for the train to come. And I still believe for some reason if I'm standing on that track and that train comes, I can lower my shoulder and win, which is pretty much indicative of the fact that I'm mentally ill.
Yes. Definitely. So, how do you see Say My Name into a broader literary landscape?
I got away from genre and I started taking elements of different, sort of topics or groups or genres. There's a little western in there, a little science fiction. There's a little. I stopped hearing so much to the formula of what gets you, a bestseller. Mostly because I can't do it. I don't. It's not. It's not. I mean, it's definitely a case of the grapes being sour. I can't. I tried very hard to get to a big four. I tried very, very hard to get with one, and I came close, but in the end, I couldn't do it. And I just wanted to write books that I would want to read. And so I started writing this, and these are a little wilder. There's more things going on, and they're heavier. I don't know what most readers are looking for. I think a lot of people just read to escape. I have a buddy I golf with, Drew, and he's like, I don't read your books. I'm like, personally, I can't read all that darkness. I read to escape. And there's a lot of people like that, and God bless you. That's how you are. Great. You know what you got. You read to escape. You want to be reminded of the misery of life. But if you find some kind of, if you like Pink Floyd, Roger Waters lyrics from 70s era Floyd, you're probably gonna like my books because we're talking about the same thing. Except Roger Waters is massively successful, and I'm sort of bitter, heady, and jealous and angry.
Yes. So, lastly, what's next for you as an author?
Well, next I go back east to Connecticut, and I do that little book tour, and I get to speak to some kids and tell them not to do drugs, and that's always fun. And then I'll talk about this book, which features my brother Josh, who died in 2017. So a lot of his old classmates will be there. It's really wonderful to go back to Burlington, a town I couldn't wait to escape. And now each year I get to go back, and I'm honored they let me come back and share my work. So I'll do that. In terms of the writing, I'm writing a book. Next book is going to be called Homesick, and I'm writing it for Wicked House Publishing. I got that right, Patrick. And I was asked to write that book before he saw anything, just based on he likes my work. So I'm going to put that out. I've got like a quarter of it written. I mean, right now I got to find a good place to live. It's very. I don't do well with this displaced thing, as you can tell. Look at this show. It's a little bouncing around. I need a place, and my stuff. Everything's. I don't even see the background. My guitar amps out. Like everything. This whole house is just a mess, and I can't. I need my space and my things, and then I don't know why I am like that, but I am like that. So when I get all that in line in order, I'm going to tremendous writing jag and produce the best I've ever produced, and hopefully I don't get hit with a bus.
Yes. So, Mr. Joe, can you please invite our listeners to support all your books?
Support all my books at joekeeper.com. You can put my name in a search engine, I should appear. And really, any authors down here in Trenton, we're happy if somebody's reading a book. So if you can't read my book, go read Jordan Harper's books. Jordan doesn't need help. Todd and I and Mike Crean and other writers have. Pick up some indie stuff and support the local guys trying to, make a difference.
Make a difference, people. Let's support Mr. Joe Clifford, because if you support him, more books to come. So, Mr. Joe, thank you for your time.
Oh, thanks. See you next week. I'm going to be in Connecticut. We'll talk. It's great.
Body people, see you soon.